couple of comments here, just real quick. Tonight is going to be kind of a interesting night in trying to get things done. We do want to make a recommendations to the town for the basic stuff. First part of the meeting, and then the second part talk about the bond package that we were asked to do, which I'm not sure is going to be viable anymore. Right. So we can discuss that. But I would like to get our recommendations on record and submitted to the town tonight. Any comments?
No.
Sounds good?
Yep. I think, Joe, you had summarized all of them in that sheet, that worksheet?
I hope so. Hopefully we got everything captured.
Right. My comment, I met with Seth on the issue of the air compressor for the tanks. And he said, I said, can it wait till next year? He goes, I guess, if you're willing to have parts milled, or he said, we don't have any parts anymore, and everything it has gone out of date. It's not viable anymore for the air compressor. So that was one of the issues that we were looking to recommend. Yeah. So just to throw that out ahead of time. Any other comments from any of the towns, boards or committees or anything on this? Or anything?
Was that on our list?
Yeah, it's towards the bottom.
Yeah.
Air compressor? Okay.
Yep.
FinCom moved into here?
FinCom is here.
Okay, just checking.
CIPC.
CIPC.
Oh, sorry, that's right.
FinCom is tomorrow.
CIPC, FinCom is tomorrow. So I was gonna put you in that other room, but it looks like the masses rolled you out of here.
Something like that.
Thank you, Carrie. Oh, by the way, I'll apologize for almost hitting you on the way in. That was me.
I knew it was.
Oh, you did?
Thanks, Gary.
Okay, thanks, Carrie.
Okay, so we're gonna put that on hold for now?
What's that?
That compressor?
No.
Everything?
No, I think we should rate it.
I think we should rate that one tonight, too.
All right.
Okay, Joe, you have the list. I'll let you start, if that's okay, unless anybody has any other comments.
Do we want the minute? I'm just looking at the minutes now.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't had a chance
Okay,
to
so-
review them yet.
There's two sets of minutes, one from the 10th and one from the 17th. The one from the 10th we didn't vote on at the last meeting because Joe had never seen it.
Yeah.
And I was not here, so I'll abstain on that one.
Do you have a written copy?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay, I just wanted to. It's just typing
Grammar?
stuff. Yeah.
Are you making a grammatical error?
Typing. I'm sure it's just typos.
Typos, yeah.
So on the March 10th, first bullet, second line,
Yeah.
the word "for" is there
Twice.
twice. Yeah. And then the second bullet, fourth line down, also discuss the land. It just needs a D on land.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Those are the worst things you can find.
Yeah,
in minutes.
nothing huge here, Mike. And then the row right below that, the word "of," we can just lowercase the O.
All right.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes or approve the minutes from March 10th as amended with those changes.
I'll second.
Abstain.
All in favor?
I'm in favor.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. On the minutes of the 10th, March 10th. Moving on to the minutes of March 17th.
I actually like having these recordings because I refer to them when I put the minutes together. My note-taking is usually sloppy but good, but every now and then we've had some very confusing meetings.
You do a good job. I bet a lot of minutes. You do a good job.
One typo. Looks like the last line under comments says fund transport, I think it fund,
Yeah.
should just add a D there.
Which one is this, the next one, the comments?
Yep, under comments, the last sentence under comments. Fund to transport van,
Fund, yes, the D
and
is.
I think that should be is on hold. Instead of in on hold. But other than that, looks good.
Is on hold. Yep, you're correct. Yeah, she's gonna look into doing that as a joint project with other towns, I think.
And Mike, the only thing I would change is in that same bullet where it says sum of the 50 grand still unspent, I would say, I think we talked about that, most of that 50 grand is
Most,
unspent.
yeah. Much of 50 grand is still on.
Make a motion to accept the minutes from March 17th with the noted changes.
Second.
10 seconds. Thank you.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So approved. Okay.
Those are from March 17th.
Well, again, I'll mention it. Ron had asked us at a meeting to do the regular submission of stuff and also put together a bond package. So Ron is no longer serving as administrator for the town, so I don't know where we stand on the bond package. We'll discuss it later. But I'd like to concentrate again on just getting the stuff submitted to the Select Board and Finance Committee.
Is there a chance we might want to make in our recommendations to them what to do and not to do, that some things would be possible, ARPA funding?
Well, I think that,
Or should we just say what we want to do and let them decide?
yeah, from what I get, and you can kind of also kick in anybody, from what I understand, everybody wants a piece of the ARPA funds.
Yeah.
So the sooner we can get our recommendations there, I think the sooner they can filter in what they want to do with those things. Some of the stuff is very long-term in what they want to do, so I think ours is more short-term on that.
Well, as I said, other communities are spending ARPA funds on all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
City of Worcester is doing a park with it.
right,
The bid was closed and awarded today.
yeah.
Or recommended awarded today. I'll do the homework before I give it out.
Joe, you want to start off? Again, we'll discuss and rate the stuff. Does everybody have a rating sheet they can go by?
I don't,
I brought some with me if you need one.
okay, I wouldn't mind one. I know I have them
Get
at
the same
home, but
one,
I.
'cause I know there's a
forgot we
couple
were gonna be
different-
doing
No,
that
that was the
today.
latest one we used.
Okay, that's the same one I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as a reference, yeah.
Okay.
Slide everything right off this chain.
All right, so we'll just go down the list.
Yep.
Should we put in some final figures that, like the school lots and the town lots, we got those
Oh, I
numbers?
think I sent it out. I sent out a revised version that should have that, Mike.
Oh, really?
But if you don't, as we go through them, I will say the amounts just so we're all on the same page.
Okay,
So the first, I'm thinking maybe we skip the first two because they're gonna come back to that bond package question. But
right.
just so we have the numbers, the town building parking lots, the estimate that Joe Buckley provided is $508,502.65.
Okay.
The Wachusett School Building parking lots, Wachusett Regional School District, all the schools, is $976,125.
76, 125.
And that's our share.
Well, those are all our schools.
That's all last year, yeah.
It's just our buildings, yep.
Oh, okay.
The next item on the list is, it's actually a duplicate. Rows 7 and 8 are the same item, and row 8 has the actual quote price that was submitted by Dan Dede. So we can strike that other one because it is a duplicate. So the one we're keeping is Wachusett Regional School District, Naquag, replace the 800 amp electrical switchgear. And the cost associated with that is $73,590. So I think we probably want to rate that.
I'm not even sure where it is.
Naquag School.
Which list are we?
And this might be one of the ones that maybe it was a late ad because it got added when the quote came in, but I thought it was on the most recent version I sent.
Yeah, well,
Do you
It
know
might be.
what date you sent that one, Joe?
I don't know the date I sent the email. Probably the beginning of April, the 4th maybe, or thereabouts.
see, it's confusing. You still send me a lot of things under an old email account that I almost never use.
Oh, I've been trying to use the Gmail.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
All right.
I think I got rid of your
I found
other
some
one.
things under the charter.net.
Yeah, I deleted that from my contact and replaced it with the Gmail, so hopefully anything new was coming through on the Gmail.
Yeah. Apple,
Here's what I mean about, if I can, I got this from Seth. We are working on, this has to do with heating HVAC for the building. We are working on this issue now and coming up with a plan to fix this system. Attached is the first part, waiting on additional pricing on the heating plant repairs. We plan on securing funding with ARPA funds. So
what was that again, Harry? I'm sorry.
Seth is working on the HVAC system for the fire building, for the public
Yeah.
safety building, and they're looking to request ARPA funds for it.
Oh, how expensive is that?
Let's see here. Total cost. Community center, townwide. Let's see what we got here. He's got a lot of, okay, he's got a lot of stuff in here. ARPA fund uses I'm looking for.
Dan, look at April 1st. I'm not sure what version.
I think I might have it. Does that look right?
April 1st.
Yes, the 800 amps electrical switchgear, that's the one.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm not seeing anything
I'm not finding.
with just.
It's at your Gmail. I just found the email. It was sent on 4/1 to your Gmail account.
Okay, I got, Joe Becker 4-1, attaching the request priority file. Okay.
Yep, that's the one.
Here we go.
And it's the second attachment on that email.
Okay. Future items for discussion by ARPA committee. Heating system upgrade repairs public safety building. He doesn't have a price for it. However, he does have stuff listed here. Broadband, water, support public health response, service training, COVID infrastructure.
But that's all ARPA, right? So he's not asking us to consider that right now?
No, but
Okay.
that's proposed 1.1 million.
Yeah.
So that doesn't leave a lot of money left over if that all goes to that. So that's what I'm saying, everybody's looking for a piece of that.
All right, so do we want to
Okay.
go back to the, rate the switchgear?
Yeah. Okay.
So we're gonna rate, what are we gonna rate first? The Naquag switchgear?
Yep.
Was it in here, Joe?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was, Joe Buckley had sent the quote over.
Okay. Well, why don't you, okay, comments on that? On doing the switchgear, which was for the electrical box, right?
Yeah, at Naquag.
Yeah.
So replace all existing feeder circuits in use will be fed with new breakers. I mean, there's a lot of electrical terminology here, so I don't know if I forwarded the quote, if, you know.
My question is, did Joe say where he got that from, where the information he got it from?
Yeah, it came from Dan Deedy down at the district, and the quote is from GM Goldsmith Electric.
Okay, did he say if he contacted our own electrical?
No.
Here?
Well, we don't, we use vendors too.
Huh?
We use vendors too.
No, but we have a, Lester, who's electrical.
Yeah, but Lester, I don't think would be doing commercial.
No, but could he look at it and say, this is what you need, or or is it okay? I just didn't know if he did any of
Yeah,
that.
I didn't have those
No,
discussions.
okay. All right.
All right,
Well, it's not legally required.
No.
Maintenance, town department priority classification, or does he consider it mandatory? I don't,
I think it's maintenance. I mean,
Seems like
Yeah.
maintenance.
okay.
so maintenance where that gets 7.
7. Priority. I'm not sure how much of a priority it is. It should be done, but
Do we,
high,
in
medium.
that article, did he say what the time life of this thing was? Do we have 2 years, 3 years, or is it past its life?
All we have is a quote.
Okay.
That makes it hard to assess priority.
Yep.
It does.
I'd call it medium then. No? Or do you think we should go higher than that?
No, I don't know
just
if I'd
don't
go,
know.
I don't know if I'd go higher than medium, because
Well-
we have no,
The fact that it's called out, I would put it at least a medium. That's just me. But
okay.
yeah, it does make it tough because, I mean, are we at a point where the electrical, the grid goes down in the building, or are we at a point where this is preventative?
Right.
You can be put off a couple few years. I don't know.
Because we're talking quite a bit of money here
Yeah.
out of the ARPA funds for this.
I mean, we can try to
Well,
call
it's
Joe and find out.
73,000, right? I mean,
Yeah?
yep.
But for a junction box and supporting wiring?
Well, I mean, you're talking a big building. It's
Yeah.
Wiring throughout the building?
I don't know.
they're replacing the entire distribution setup, I think, in the electrical room.
Okay.
All existing feeder circuits will be fed with new breakers.
Okay.
And it would also allow for additional breaker space for possible future needs. That's as detailed as it gets.
Okay.
I mean, it gives you the breaker
Is
types.
is
and
the
things
stuff
like that.
there all original to the school?
Couldn't tell you.
I would think so.
I
Yeah.
would think so.
Yeah.
So that school's been there for a while, so,
Yeah.
I mean, this is gonna be,
I mean, it might have been updated when the addition was put on,
oh, yeah.
but aside from that, I don't know. I'm assuming it had to have been updated for the expansion when the addition was put on.
Yeah. Well, with nothing else, we could go for a medium
I think we have to go medium.
and and see where it falls into line of things. And if we need, we can get back to Joe to,
Yeah.
but,
I do too.
okay.
I agree.
Projected life.
That thing's been in there for what, 30 years?
Yeah, I would say that'd be good for 20 or more years.
Yeah, at least 20 or more,
So
unless we add on, so 20 or more years.
that's a
would be
big
10.
number there, yeah. Effect on operating and maintenance cost, I think they'd be unchanged, wouldn't they?
I would
think so
imagine.
too.
I can't imagine if not, yeah.
On revenue.
None.
Again,
None.
unchanged, right?
I can't, well, except for the electric bill, but I don't know how that
I
new
don't
stuff
think it would
going in
change.
would change that at
I
all.
don't think it'll change usage. Yeah.
Right, so that would be unchanged, 6. No grant money for this.
Unless they wanna use opera.
Well, but
Does that
that's
count as
not,
grant?
no,
No, okay.
no.
So
So
we get a rating of 29,
I got 33.
I got 33.
10, 20, did I leave one out?
So we had 7,
7,
5,
5,
10,
5,
5,
6.
6.
Yep.
7, 5, 10,
Yep, 5 for medium priority.
okay.
yeah. So what was it, 20,
33. total.
33? Okay. All right.
All right. The next one was the town hall compliant, designs for handicap accessibility designs as well as just overall building designs. That was kind of wrapped up into the whole bond package discussion, so we may want to circle back on it.
Yeah, you think so?
You wanna wait on that?
Yeah.
I mean, just to do that and not have it as part of the total package of what we want to get done for the town,
Yeah,
kind of seems, spending ARPA money for that doesn't seem to make sense.
If you don't have an option to do anything with the designs, then.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So the next one on the list then, that's still under discussion is, we crossed out the dispatch radio upgrade because Mike said he wasn't ready on that. So the next
Right.
item is the used international dump truck, which was Joe Buckley's first priority in his revised priority list submitted to us a couple weeks back.
Okay,
So I don't think it's legally required.
nope.
No.
Probably maintenance, right?
Boy, it could classify as 2 or 3. But it'd probably do more maintenance, it would be able, or, because the thing is
It
so
has to
bad.
be 2 or 3.
It's so bad now that, it's constantly being worked on in service, so. I'd probably give it a little higher, maybe on
A 7?
maintenance.
I could swallow that.
What do you think?
Yeah, and I mean, or we could split the difference too. We could do a 6.
Make a 6?
Yeah.
Okay. We've done that in the
We've
past.
done that before. We can't decide.
We're not setting precedent, okay?
Priority,
It's the number 1. from
It's
DPW,
his number
so,
one, yeah.
Yeah, so
Counts for something.
I'd
Give
have to
it
rate
high.
it that way too.
10.
Okay.
I'd say we get 20 years out of it.
He's gotten what, close to that, more out of this
He's
one?
buying used dump trucks and he gets that much out of them.
Yeah.
I mean, they have historically, they're driving forever and
Well,
they get 'em
Gary has,
forever.
yeah, in the past has really pushed it.
Well, I mean, I don't know, do we want to do, maybe that's a 9, an 8
Yeah.
or a 9, somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah, I would say, boy, I wouldn't go, I'd
That's
either
kind of
go a
what's
7
used.
or an 8. I would go
Well, let's
7
go
or
an
8.
8.
All right.
Only
We
because
were gonna say a 10.
the usage depends on employment too.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have the people to get out and use the trucks or, the way it should be used.
Well, no, I think what it means is the useful life of the vehicle itself.
Right, but the more the employee can use it, the less life you're gonna get out of it, so
I see
you
what you're
don't,
Well, it's,
so that's why I say 7 or 8, I can't see a 9 for that.
We can do 8.
8,
Seems reasonable.
okay.
yeah. 6, 10, 8. Expected life. We just,
Yeah, so the next one is the operating and maintenance cost.
operating and
I don't know that there'd be a huge change there.
Not a dramatic reduction.
Maybe a little bit in the maintenance area, but
Yeah.
I don't know that that's,
You
so
might-
maybe
six.
somewhere between a 6, yeah, I was gonna say
Six,
between the
six.
5 and the 7, yeah, the way
Okay.
this,
all right. Town revenue, unchanged. I think.
unchanged.
Unchanged on that one.
So that's 6. And then no
I,
grants.
I always had a problem with this one, guys. Why, if it decreases the revenues, would it be a 0? I guess that's just the way they looked at it when they did this thing initially.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me either. I
Oh.
didn't notice that before.
Well, if you're buying something that reduces town revenue, that's a bad thing.
No, but according to this, we always rate things higher. So if it increases your revenue, it gets a 12. And if it's unchanged, it's 6, but they go all the way to 0 if it decreases revenue.
Should be
But that's-
negative.
That's just me.
I would say that's gonna be
Negative 10.
unchanged.
It seemed weird,
I
okay.
think unchanged.
Yeah, unchanged.
All
That's
right,
gonna be a 6.
unchanged.
All right, I come up with 36.
Same.
Okay.
All right, next one is the DPW Updated Plow. So when asked, this is the one where, he indicated there was a annual effort. Now, the only thing I would say on this one is a little further down, you're gonna see that there's a sewer service truck, an F550 service truck.
Okay.
That is including a plow.
Oh,
So, I guess my opinion, if we're gonna rank the sewer truck high enough to purchase it, and it has a plow on it, I'm not sure that we'd want to buy another plow in addition to.
right.
That's just, so I wanted to point that out going into it.
Good point.
The service van is not one of the heavy-duty plows that they use. They'd probably use it doing their parking lot and stuff. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, this is, this isn't a van. The SOAR is an F550 service truck.
Okay.
And that's the one that has a plow on it.
That's the 3/4 pickup, third section down, Mike?
Yeah, the van's a separate.
Okay, I was thinking it was the van.
With
There is a
plow?
van, but that's for DPW. The truck with the plow is for the SOAR.
Okay. So he's looking for a.
But you're right, Mike, it's certainly not one of the plows you put on one of the
It's not one of the
international
big
dumps, right?
with the double wings on it.
But
and
I'm
stuff,
not sure the plow being purchased in row 11 is one of those big ones either. Can you get one of them for 11 grand?
Yeah.
I don't know, but you're right, because we're looking at a big international dump.
The plow.
And here we're talking a 3/4 ton.
Is this
So-
the, where he said he was looking to replace a plow every year to go on the existing trucks?
Yeah.
Right, 15, so that's gotta be a good rig.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's maybe a question, maybe it's a follow-up question for him. What type of plow would get updated under that separate plow item?
Yeah.
And if it's just a regular truck plow, and we end up getting the service van, maybe we will hold off.
Yeah.
Right,
Question for Joe.
because we're looking at 50 grand for that?
For the,
For
no.
Or the used international dump, or are we talking just the plows?
So the plows, just for the plow, he had 15 grand, but that SOAR service truck with the plow is 90 grand.
Yeah, I would be surprised if that 3/4 truck blade would go on the international.
Oh, it won't, no question. I just
Right.
don't know what he's looking for with his plow, his separate plow line
Well-
item there. What kind of plow he's looking for.
I guess, from my understanding, my recollection, is that he wanted something where he didn't have to bring out the big trucks for the water and sewer. So if they needed to fix something in the wintertime, that truck could plow and they wouldn't have to put another truck out there. I think that was the purpose of why he had that with a plow.
Oh, I think they're gonna use that truck in plowing operations.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
yeah,
Send it in small streets and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So if that's the case, then the plow wouldn't work on the big ones. If we're talking highway use and not small street use, I don't think that's gonna work. The 3/4.
All right, so, I just wanted to point that out. We can still go ahead and rate the updated plow line item.
Yeah.
So the number he has associated on that line item is 15,000, and it's his number 2 priority.
Annual effort to upgrade every year.
Yeah.
All right, so town department mandatory maintenance. I'd have to be maintenance. I can't even improve efficiency.
No.
Yeah, I'd say it's
Extended
maintenance.
service, so 7.
Priority.
He rates it as number 2 priority, but I can't, in the scheme of things,
I'd
I
say
can't go any higher than high. I can't go very high.
high, I was thinking medium.
Maybe a 6 even,
Okay.
Yeah.
somewhere in there. Okay. Useful life. Geez, I don't know. It's a piece of metal.
Yeah.
Unless you're really beating the heck out of the thing, you should get at least 15 years out of it, or 16 to 20 years out of one of those.
Yeah, I was gonna say a 6 on that one too, somewhere in the middle there,
Yeah.
between the 11, 15, and 16 and 19.
Yeah, okay.
6? Zero.
Yeah, 6 on that. Effect on operating and maintenance costs.
I don't think there's
5.
anything.
Yeah,
Effect on revenue, that's unchanged,
that's
right?
I changed too, so it's a 6.
30.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, next one is the DPW Facility Repairs. This is all the heat work
Oh, yeah.
at the DPW garage. Cost $50,000, his number 3 priority.
Or am I looking at 50 grand up here?
So
I
I'd say
got-
that's maintenance.
I have 40, he changed it to 50? On your original report, I see it in blue at 40.
Yeah, on,
It's 50 on the new one.
it's what he sent over was
Okay.
50. Let me verify that.
Okay.
DPW, let me just double check the file he sent, just to confirm, Harry, but I can go back and, I don't have the file. I don't
Okay.
think.
That's
Showing tips, but I think he updated it to 50.
But let's circle back now to where it says DPW Facility Repairs,
Yeah, the barn.
10 grand. And now, he wants to get another 50 down here.
You're looking at an old version of that file.
Oh,
Yeah, I think the facility got,
wrapped into it?
It got scratched.
it's got scratched.
Okay.
And it's the DPW repair heat. That's his
Okay.
number 3. Because this got updated when he sent his updated
Okay,
priority
I
list for
just didn't see-
2023.
I apologize, Joe.
Priority, I feel like we gotta go 5 maybe, because if it's the number 3 from DPW, it's gotta be at least 1 below the last one, right?
What, priority classification?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one less in his priority, so it should be at least a point less. I thought that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we said that was maintenance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we put that at 7 or?
Yeah.
7, okay.
And priority, go 5.
I don't know, we've seen that place. We've seen what it takes to heat
Yeah,
and all that. And,
well, the last one was rated higher by Joe,
yeah,
and we gave it a 6.
Yeah. It
So
is.
I'd rate it 1
I
less.
found it. It's 50 grand.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so 6
5.
between medium and high? Or,
Oh, we
Well,
rated,
I would probably go 5, because if the last one was the number 2 priority and we ranked it 6 on priority, this is the number 3 priority.
because it gets 1 point less. I agree with that.
okay.
Well, I mean, we dropped from 10 to 6 on between 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah. It's a sharp.
That was a sharp
Yeah.
decline.
right.
I'm
the value
not
of number
sure
1.
what the useful life would be on that.
So did we settle on, what did we settle on for priority ranking?
5 or 6, I don't know.
I put 5. Do we
Yeah.
want to put 6?
I put 5 too.
5, we consensus 5, okay.
I'm thinking maybe we should update the plows to 7 and put the facility repairs at 6.
That's fine, as long as we're consistent.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so that would change the plows to 31.
yeah.
Because it is a little more important.
And we need to make this one 6.
Expected
All right, being
life.
consistent.
I mean, that, I would
Again,
say
we said-
11 to 15, right? It's lasted at least all of
Yeah.
that already.
So,
I just don't know.
You know, well, that thing's been in there since the original was built.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I would think, I would probably go the low end of number 2. I might go 6 on that.
Okay. Somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah,
Effective on operation and maintenance.
I think that's unchanged, wouldn't it be? Just keeps the thing running.
well,
Might be a little bit more efficient.
I
It
think,
might, yeah, it might be, and it might,
I don't think it'll be dramatic reduction, but
It's not gonna reduce, well, yeah, it could reduce, so I'd maybe
6?
6 in the
yeah.
middle there between none and a little reduced.
Yeah,
Effect
town
on,
revenue, nothing.
no.
I don't
think
think
so.
it would be significant enough to even rate a decrease or increase in revenues or anything,
No.
so.
So I come up with 31.
Yeah, 31, same as last
Okay.
one.
Okay,
So the next item is the DPW Service van.
Van.
This is the van. Number 4 DPW priority, $30,000.
30,000.
Yep.
his priority classification is, or we would look at the priority,
I'd say that's maintenance, right?
I don't know how to improve efficiency, but I'd say maintenance.
Yeah, it keeps the ball rolling, or, yeah.
7.
A
Priority.
van isn't gonna last as long as one of the big trucks. I don't think they get beat up easier.
For priority, it can't go
5.
any higher than 5.
So 5?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, we've all seen that truck, It's a mess, but
To keep it running.
I'd say that's maybe a 4.
yeah, I was gonna say, between 4 to 10 years maybe. Yeah, I can't say anything, so 4.
Do you know, does it say anywhere the year of the one they have? Joe may have that in one of his reports. He has a pretty detailed spreadsheet on his equipment and their ages and everything. I'm not sure I brought it with me though, unless it's in the annual report. Might be.
No, that was, I think that might have been in here. Service van,
Is that-
2004.
2004, so he's gotten 17 years out of that one.
And I think that was pushing it too.
Yeah.
I can't imagine with the work they do around that thing is more than a 10.
I think we're in the right ballpark if we do 4 or
Yeah.
even 3, but.
Okay.
But we have 4 now, if everyone's comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable.
So that would put it,
Yeah.
yeah,
I would say costs are unchanged.
Yeah.
maybe.
5.
Yep.
Effect on revenue unchanged, 6.
Yep.
27.
Yep.
Okay.
So the next one was a brush chipper. Number 5 priority on his list,
Yep.
$33,250.
Yep.
And the existing one is a 1998.
Okay. 32,000 for a brush chipper. His primary purpose, didn't he say, was to, in the back here, when he gets all the trees and all that stuff and he brings it back, you want to be able to chip all that up
Grind
and
them all
use
up,
the
yeah.
chips around the town?
Yeah,
It's-
those are, you'd be surprised how expensive those pieces of equipment
Yeah,
are.
they're really expensive. The other thing they use it for is, we have that regional bucket truck, so they do tree trimming work,
Right.
and I'm sure they chip a lot of that too.
Right. I would not go lower than 7 on that one, I don't think.
So yeah, that's a maintenance, right? 7. Priority,
I'd go 4. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 4.
How's the one he has now?
old.
Yeah.
Chipper, it's
It's
a
a 98,
98.
yeah.
Didn't he say he had a, did he say at one of the meetings that sometimes he has to rent or borrow other towns' chippers?
I don't remember. He could have.
I could have swore he did. Priority ranking. I would go 5 on that one myself.
Well, we were thinking 4, that's what we said.
4?
And he rates it lower than the other stuff.
I know.
So I'd drop it down 1 point just based on that, if nothing else.
Okay. I'll agree. Useful life.
It's gotta be high because.
Well, it's gonna be 20 years or
Yeah.
more, right?
Right.
Based on the one we got, so
Right.
that gets a 10. Effect on O&M, no change.
No change on that
5.
one. 5.
Revenue 6.
Yep.
32.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry, we are so impartial here. And when I look at this, I look, okay, a chipper rates are higher than a service van that people use, that they need to, I mean, it's like,
All about the
it's,
numbers.
it is
Well,
what,
what
yeah,
bumped
it's all
that up
about-
is the life expectancy.
Yeah,
It's all about the numbers, yeah.
right.
Service, and it's actually a good thing. This is a good way to do
So
it because
it
it
is.
takes
It's a
that.
less complicated piece of equipment,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
The service van is the next one for SOAR. So this would be SOAR Enterprise, Water and SOAR Enterprise.
We don't
the
have
number
they
one
don't have a
sewer
van, do they?
They have a van now, and he's looking for a truck. I think they have a truck as well, but I think this is replacing a van that they have.
90,000, yeah.
Oh, and I have the quote on that, if anyone wants. I think he sent me over a quote on that. Service van and plow quote. So it's from
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Lamoureux.
I'm curious what the quote, if it varies from the 90 he said.
You talking about the 3/4 pickup? The water department, 3/4?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
Sewer priority, 90,000.
I've got 40 here.
No, it's 91,135.
91,135.
So what it is the base truck is like 57,800. The plow is 7,500. That brings you up to 65,300. And then there's a utility body on the back of it, which is 25,800. And that brings you up to the 91,135.
91,135.
That's a standard type van that they use in other DPWs, like in Worcester and stuff. They use them in water and in sewer, and in streets for that matter.
So, okay, which one are we looking at here now?
It's not on that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's on the revised one.
Okay, so
It's good.
sewer van,
F550.
okay,
So I think this is a,
okay, with plow.
Is this a new item, or is it replacing something that's
It- it-
substandard?
it's replacing the substandard van, is my understanding.
Okay,
And that's not in this breakdown he's got here, is it? Purchase, highway, water.
Which breakdown? Yeah, he actually has it on, he has it under DPW in our book,
Oh, okay.
under FY23. I think that's the same.
3/4 ton
Yeah.
with plow, 40,000?
I think so, but
Water
again,
divi- That's, it says water division, not water sewer, yeah.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, well, the base price was close to 40, but then he added the plow and the body.
In the
on it.
utility body, yeah.
All right.
So that's
91,000 roughly?
probably maintenance.
91,135.
Okay.
I'd say maintenance, yeah.
All right.
So
yeah.
7. Priority ranking.
It's the
That's
highest
his number
sewer.
1 sewer priority.
7.
Probably higher, I would say.
So I think it's his only sewer.
I'm not sure, I'd go
Maybe not 10, but
10, 8.
9,
yeah,
8 or 9?
9.
I'd go along with 8.
8. All right. Life expectancy,
He better get 20 more out of that one.
90 grand, I would hope so.
Yeah,
Okay, 10. Operating maintenance costs unchanged, I think.
Yeah, 5.
And this is the same with the last one.
Yeah, no effect.
Yeah.
6.
36.
36, wow.
36. The ties for the highest rating we got here. All right, where we go next?
So next one is quite a ways down. The other, because a lot of those get scratched. So the next one down is the Woods House
Wood house.
structural item. So I talked with Joe last week on this, and bless you, because we had reached out to him really looking for a quote of the Woods House, the second half of the roof.
right,
And there's more than just the roof.
yeah.
Well, what
Yeah.
he said is before, it doesn't make sense based on, I guess, the research he's done and the conversations he's had. It doesn't make sense to do the second half of the roof before some of those structural concerns are cared for. And it's mostly masonry, like chimney.
The chimney, yeah.
Foundation.
Yeah.
Foundation, right.
Items like that.
And that all totals 60?
Well,
Is that the new quote?
no, the new quote, just for the structural items, he gave me is 35.
And then that 60 might be for the rest of the roof?
The roof is another 27.5.
Okay.
So yeah, that brings you to your
60.
roughly the 60.
So we're looking, I don't want to float the ARPA funds if we get them, just to have the construction done and then go back and try to get the roof again. Or are we going to rate those separately? Because I'm looking to put the whole package together.
Well, I don't even know if these should be included in that. It'd be great, but there's so many other things for that. It seems to me if we got some structural issues on a facility, maybe we should rate it and see what the town wants to do with it based
Yeah.
on our feedback.
Yeah,
And besides, there were some big ticket items that we're not gonna do
Right.
without looking at the other funds.
right,
All those big lots and stuff.
right.
Let me see what he sent me. I think he gave me. Well, you know what? I think it's on my other email. He was having problems with my charter account.
Structural. Oh, you too.
It's something with the
I
town.
still keep getting emails from you telling me I have to log in and I can't log in.
I don't
I got one
say
the
any more
other
to
day.
you
I
that
got it,
way.
yeah,
Did I by
I got one
accident?
two or 3 days ago.
Jeez.
Oh, you know what he gave me? What he sent me on the wood, the construction is in this, is what's in here.
Yeah,
So all those same things that is in the big facility report, is what he sent me here. So I think everyone's seen it.
yeah.
All right, we wanna rate this one, or?
I almost wish we could get some kind of a grant for this. It's a historic building.
But we've already started some of the work too.
Yeah, we did the roof, half the roof.
Yeah.
All right.
Apparently didn't know what we were getting into, it's just doing the roof.
I think it's definitely maintenance, right?
Yeah, definitely maintenance.
7. Priority ranking,
You started it, you kind of have to finish it.
it's his, and the masonry, the structural concern is the priority over the second half of the roof, at least initially.
Yeah,
So,
I'd have to,
I'd go a
I'd have-
little more than high, yeah, maybe,
yeah, 8 or 9
Yeah.
at least because of the structural on that.
I'd say 9,
9.
yeah, all right,
Life expectancy,
so 20 years.
I would hope a foundation repair would last 20 years.
Oh, many generations, I hope.
Will be gone, right?
Yeah.
Effect on O&M, none.
None. 5, same with
Revenue, none.
You're right.
6,
6.
5.
37.
Oh, so I came up with 47, but I put,
7.
when we were looking at the life expectancy, instead of putting the number 10 that represents
Yeah.
20, I put in the number 20, so.
Okay.
All right, 37,
I'll do
right?
it.
All right. 5 and 6. Okay.
All right, and so the next.
37.
Yep. Well, that jumped into the lead, huh? Woods House roof, the second half, second priority, 27.5 is the number.
Wait a minute. How much to have the roof done on that thing?
27.5.
Well, I thought that was included in the 60 that we just rated. I thought there was like,
That wasn't
No,
60
that
that we
was-
rated.
No, that was 35.
oh, I thought we put
You're
them
talking the
together.
wood house or wood studio? I'm sorry.
House,
Okay.
So this last one was just the
just the
structural.
structural. Yeah.
And that was, how much?
35.
35, okay.
Okay, I guess, I don't know if anybody else does, but that roof, I have a problem spending $20,000 on that roof.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's your prevailing wage.
it's,
No, I mean, can't.
No, it is, that's what it is.
But
That's what it cost us to do the first half.
seriously?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's.
I know, I hear you. I
I mean, I can't
Yeah.
believe the materials went up that much.
What Ron had said, I think was true. They got a company that wants to do $1 million jobs and they're sending guys out here to do $35,000 jobs. They mark their way up.
I mean, it's more than, I think, it's also more than just stripping and putting new shingles. I think you've got the
Yeah,
other issues that
so
are being cared
there's
for at
some
the
real-
same time, yeah.
Okay, so, Woodhouse, see, I don't have the two halves of this broken up. The roof was another, how much more, 27?
27.5 for the roof, second half. So collectively, those two items together are 62.5.
Well,
I would kind of rate it the same as the other one. I think they go hand in hand. If we're gonna do one, we do them both, right? Or if we're gonna
well,
recommend one.
I don't think the roof is gonna last 20 years. I don't think a roof will last 20 years where it is.
I mean, I don't know what kind
Yeah.
of shingles they put on it, but,
Yeah, but
Yeah, well,
because a lot of the roofs, the architectural shingles now are 25 and 30 years.
yeah.
So you might get 20 years.
Well,
out
that's
of
what
it.
they say.
Yeah.
But my feeling is you start seeing a little bird's nest on them after about 15 to 18 years, so.
So it's maintenance.
It's maintenance, 7.
And then priority is,
I'd go right with the first one.
I don't know.
We've started it, you can't leave it half done.
Well, they did the worst. But the question is, do we get it done this year as a priority ranking? Or can it go a year? I don't know. I guess I'm a little hesitant,
I think if we leave-
hesitant to
if we leave
rate
it half
a
done,
roof
too
at that
long.
expense as a quote priority on our list. I don't, because I just don't. But on the other hand, the Wood House has been around there for a long time. That is a historic, so I don't want to see that fall apart either.
You leave it half done, then you might be losing some of what you put in
Well,
already.
the question is, there was a lot of inside work that had to be done, so is that part of the construction for the other stuff?
no.
They had ceilings that had to be done, all that stuff, so is that another separate
Damage
item?
from infiltration.
I mean, do we spend $250,000 on this building? So to
We're
speak?
not looking at
Huh?
that much.
This does not cover the inside work.
No, so that's another item.
But I think there was inside damage due to infiltration of
I
water
think so.
through the roof.
Well, yeah.
And that'll continue until it's fixed.
Well,
It
you
does say
guys
the
go ahead
number
and
two
give me your
priority.
feedback, because I'm a little,
I don't know.
What that's in reference to is when comparing the structural to the roof.
Right,
So, yeah.
so I'm just saying, if we made the last one a 9,
Yeah.
then it
It's a
seems to make
little
sense to
under
go a little
that.
lower on this one.
yeah.
Go 8. I'd still say it's a pretty high priority though.
So life expectancy is probably in that 16 to 19.
For a roof, I'd say so, I'd stay there, yeah.
Effect on O&M, none.
Same with the bottom. Unchanged.
33. All right.
Okay, now we're gonna go down to, oops, where did this go?
So, again, the next items down is the community center work, the exterior work and the window work. That was items that came up in the bond discussion. So I don't know, do we want to rate those or hold off on that?
Community center windows, yeah, those were plugged, Ron wanted to plug those in because they were kind of expensive items.
Right.
You know, if we wanna make additional recommendations on the use of ARPA funds, we might put things like that in there.
I think maybe.
And let them decide if that's worth spending the money on.
Yeah, I think maybe what we should do is come up with our normal ranked items, and then items like that,
See where it
parking
falls.
lots, suggest
Yeah.
that before these are pursued, given the cost, that we examine where the ARPA funds are going.
Right,
You know?
right.
So the next one's down, no one actually
drainage.
submitted this year.
Yeah.
We have them on the list because they were submitted in prior years, but they didn't come up in any conversation or in any list this year, and that's all the playing field work, all the
The
drainage.
drainage, and we don't really
We've
have
ranked
quotes
those
on that.
before, haven't we?
Did we rank them
We
last
might
year?
have last
At
year,
the very
yeah.
least, we did Memorial.
Yeah.
We didn't rank them last year.
Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, I thought we did too.
I thought we maybe did the playground.
Oh, we did the playground, yeah.
That's what I thought we did.
We rated them for FY21.
Okay.
We rated Memorial, Naquag, and Central Tree
Yeah.
back in
So
FY21.
2 years ago.
Yep.
And,
Good memory, Dan. I didn't remember that.
you know,
Do you remember assigning the numbers on those?
Memorial, Naquag, and Central Tree. Do you have those numbers, Joe?
From when we ranked them,
Yeah.
you mean the cost? Or the
What the
ranks?
rating was. I mean, there's rough costs here,
Yeah, so from
which probably
Memorial,
be more now.
from Memorial, we ended up at a 24 last time. For Naquag, we ended up at a 27. Central Tree, we ended up at a 26.
okay, I guess I'm gonna throw this out to everyone. When we're looking at something like this, we are looking at 15, 25, 15,000. I'm hesitant to put that to ARPA funds when that should be paid out of town money. So you're, like $50,000, that would be a project we would recommend, and I'm hesitant to put it in a bond package.
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
wouldn't
hesitant
put it
to
in the
use
bond.
ARPA funds for this. I mean, we can rate it, and the ratings were probably gonna come close to what we did before, Joe. That isn't gonna even make the top select recommendations for us, you know, if we rate it again. And if it does, and if we did want to, as an alternative, recommend it for ARPA funds, I have a hard time when the money is so scarce, and this is very particular money that we're probably never gonna see again, this kind of money.
If we do the paving around the fire department and police and around the town hall, that'll affect the drainage on Memorial
Right.
Field. That may make a difference. I'm not sure how much, but if that resurfacing work includes grading to catch basins and stuff, there's gonna be less water that's making the back corner of Memorial Field swampy.
Right, I think that's probably what's gonna have to happen when we do the driveway anyways.
Yeah, we might get a fringe benefit. In addition to the pool, we suspect some of the excess water heading to the pool is cracking that deck.
I must admit, I haven't walked Memorial Field in a while, so I'm not sure where the low spots or how rough the ground
The
is.
back corner behind the wood house, the wood
Yeah, I know
studio.
that one.
It's the soggiest part of the field.
Yeah, I know that one.
I walk it all the time. We walk the dogs up there.
I know Naquag is where a lot of the soccer games take effect.
And it's soggy. That whole low field, it's the lowest point back
Yeah,
there.
that's probably the one of the schools that uses it the most, because that's heavy, I don't know if they still do, but it was heavy soccer field
Yeah.
down there. So, but I guess we can rate it and see where it goes.
Well, should we
you
stick
wanted-
with the ratings we
but
had?
I
I guess
just,
I haven't seen or heard any updates that would cause me to think we should change any of the prior
Right.
rankings.
Yeah.
Well, no one even submitted them for
Right,
this
that's what I-
year.
yeah.
Yeah. No one came to us
So
banging
what-
down
for
the
what
door
reason
saying
would
we
we
want this.
altering-
then
I wouldn't even include them in our ranking this year or consideration because no one brought them to us
right,
this
we
year.
all have him ranked in the previous year.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, they were brought.
agree.
I mean, Joe submitted those.
not this year he didn't.
No, but
Because this
last
year,
year, yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, they've been submitted in a prior year, but it didn't make any priority list submitted this year.
Right. It's not in the,
It's in this booklet from last year, but when I asked Joe to give us his priorities for this year,
It's not there.
It's not on the list.
Yes, I don't see a reason to revisit it.
pool deck, filtration, 5-year recreation, that's not included there. Yeah. Maybe we table that one for now
Yeah, let's
unless we
table.
get something else submitted?
I would say let's table it for now. If we're all in agreement, okay,
I'm in agreement.
all right.
And these are, there probably aren't gonna be enough ARPA funds to go around. But,
That's what I say, I think that's more coming out of a town request instead of right now.
all right, then we go next to swimming pool pump.
That's almost an immediate one, I think.
The line under the structure was what had to be the sewer line, is what had to be repaired. Is this, and we had sent that in the fall as one of our recommendations with Ron. I'm wondering if this is the pool pump itself.
This is for the pool itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say no one submitted it to, again, like the fields,
Yeah,
it wasn't brought to us this year.
Right.
In fact, we have an item, I mean, in parentheses here, it got brought up in conversation, I think, back in 2020, but we've never seen a written request for the swimming pool pump.
yeah, I don't recall.
The stuff is in here. I know the deck is in there.
Yeah, that's all, I don't
You
think
know.
there's a pump in there, though.
No,
Yeah.
I think
The deck.
The deck.
needs work.
the deck is
Yeah.
definitely in there, so I think, but again, from a committee standpoint, we evaluate things that are $10,000 or more and will last 5 years. We have a $10,000 item. It's not 9,999. It's not 10,200. It's 10,000.
Well, this,
So I would like to get an accurate or a more update to see, is it 10 or can they get away with less?
I've got
It's
15,
15 for the pump.
but,
But
Well,
again, with it
I'm
not
talking deck,
being-
I have 10,000 for the deck repairs.
no, we're talking about the pump. The
Oh.
pool pump.
I don't even
Okay.
see the deck on here.
The
Yeah.
deck isn't on here because no one requested the deck.
Yeah, swimming pool deck
They're
repairs.
gonna ask it sooner or later, we don't have to
Fiscal
worry about
22.
that.
Oh, yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Well, that's on there, but it's crossed out on the most recent version because we already recommended that
Oh.
in FY21.
Okay, then that's a done deal.
Yeah.
All right, that's the only one, so.
I'm inclined to table it if it's not actually requested.
I'm with you, Dan.
All right. Mike, you agreement?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, again, we've got these 4 items. The ones that Ron had pulled out of the facilities report. The library.
Well, those are all we discussed for bond packaging.
Yeah, but I think anything to do with the library could really be justified for opera funds. I mean, that's a regional center for the, not just Rutland, but all the communities, and it got a lot of use, a lot of wear and tear. I would recommend that ARPA funds should go to all of that library stuff. Did we need a study to be done? Or am I thinking of the public safety?
Public safety.
Yeah, okay.
No, all the stuff in the library is in here.
Yes, I know, but I was thinking that one of the infiltration things, there has to be a study done. It's the public safety building though, I think. They need some consultant work.
Yep.
I was confusing the two.
I think we should make, when we talk about, within our recommendation, when we talk about ARPA funding, I think we should kind of call out the library.
Yeah,
And the point you're making, Mike, about the library being a COVID vaccination center or site, that it's probably well-positioned for that funding for these types of repairs.
Right. I mean, if you look there, the catch basin to me is probably one of the most important items there. Because the way the water flows down, and I'd like to see that tied in, that fixed.
I don't know, yeah, and then
Right out here.
there's even,
The water flows down,
right,
goes right, yeah.
and there's even more library work that Kerry wants done, I know that. She
Right.
talked about all the carpets and everything, and I'd throw everything in the whole kit and caboodle into the ARPA funds if, the select board decides that's the good use for it. And I personally think it is.
Well, the question is, should it all be done this year, whether it's ARPA funds or not? Should we
Is,
paint the outside? Should we replace rotted siding and trim? That's a priority. Should we library exterior envelope? Should that, drainage? I mean, you're talking close to $350,000 here, Mike, for
yeah,
all the library stuff. And I just,
that's not gonna come out of free cash.
no, not all of it is, but I don't think it's all gonna come out of ARPA either. I think we can do some part of it.
Do you have any idea what other projects people are suggesting for ARPA funds?
No.
What goes through my mind all the time, guys, and probably is maybe a little off, but our goal here is to try to control the tax base in the town. Try to recommend stuff that keeps the tax base without having to go out and borrow a lot of money.
Right.
So the library stuff to me is very important, but I don't know as recommending $300,000 through ARPA is gonna get us to where, because then certain other stuff in the town has to be taken care of with trucks and everything else.
I know.
And so
But
that's my concern I have here.
then there's a little more justification of using that funds, this, because it is a regional center. we need help in maintaining it, and the ARPA funds that give you help for things that are costing you money, more money because of COVID. And I can see that as being a very strong argument to using funds for that. And not putting them in a bond package or something that's gonna cost us more money.
Well, how much would you recommend, Mike?
I'd recommend doing all the priority items at the
Well,
library.
there's over
And
300,000 there,
It's
so
208.
how much of that's
I
priority?
think it's 208 for the library is what I'm coming up with, unless, I'm not, I took out the carpet.
Yeah, well, the carpet upstairs, the carpet.
Because the item, I'm only including the items that Ron submitted as part of what he would have put
They're
in
more
the bond.
structural type of things.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
outside stuff.
Right, and that, I would agree that those are higher priority. I mean, that's, even if it's only a little over 200, that's still, I mean,
Okay, so you
that could kill a year's worth of free cash.
You took the carpet out.
Yeah, so the only things that he had recommended for the bond, when he was talking about that, was the library exterior painting at 28, the rotted siding and trim at 100, the exterior envelope at 20, and the site drainage tie into the catch basin at 60 grand.
Dan?
I guess what I'm not clear on the ARPA funds is, what's the total available ARPA money that we're looking at versus how much is being sought that could potentially qualify?
There's 1.9 million available left after they've already spent some.
And how much is being potentially requested that could qualify?
Well-
Are we looking at maxing that out, or is it a matter of finding what could qualify?
I think there's,
I think almost anything can qualify, based on what I'm seeing in other communities.
According to Ron, they revised the rules. So now you can.
Because last time Ron talked to us about this, it seemed to me like the greater issue was getting it to count or to qualify for.
and then the most recent time we asked him, I guess, since that conversation, they loosened the,
Worcester just bid $1 million park. It's a little out of the way park most people don't even know exists in Worcester. And they're spending 1.1 to rehab it. All ARPA funds.
So
The bids were open today.
what's your concern, Dan?
Well, why wouldn't we try to put this under ARPA if the money's there?
It takes burden that would otherwise go on the tax rolls. And it's unfair to put some of that on the tax rolls because the library has been serving as a regional center. How do we get other towns to contribute to it? That wouldn't be easy, but the ARPA funds are there.
Okay, Joe?
I think we should, again, call those out in our recommendation for opera because of the use of the building. I think there's
Okay.
a good argument for that.
All right.
And that's, even if we spend 250 over there, you could throw the carpets in too here, and it still would only be a dent in the 1.9 million that's available. Maybe some of it could be used for doing some town lots. Maybe some of it could be used for other structural things in buildings like the community center or somewhere else. I don't know.
Well, keep in mind that the parking lots, as proposed right now, you're looking at 1.3 million
Yeah,
out of that 2 million.
yep. Well, we didn't say we have to do every bit of it. I mean, there are some lots that are worse than others. You know, they have drainage that affects other things. We've talked about that. You know, behind the town hall, I would say is some of the worst.
But even if it is, basically what Joe said, we're looking at 208 here. So still well under 1.9.
Right, but we haven't evaluated a lot of other stuff yet. So,
You know,
and that was my only concern. So we can evaluate it. I'm perfectly in agreement with that. Assign stuff to it and see where it comes in. I am just a little hesitant to apply everything to one particular facility. A lot of money to one facility. We didn't do that with DPW, we didn't do that, and I understand your regional thing, but we didn't do that with DPW, we're not doing that with the, you know, there's.
DPW, water and sewer are a little different. They have their own revenue and they have to stay within that.
No, I'm talking about the
Yeah.
trucks and everything. We didn't give him the HVAC system that he wants to upgrade. And we're not, we didn't even get to the safety building really. So I
Right.
mean, you know, at what point, so we can rate it and then we'll look and see what is viable to rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the stuff we rate, especially the smaller items, will fall where they may. You know, we'll see what free cash is available in the fall, and some of the items will get picked off, and some of them will get tabled.
Right, and don't misunderstand the fact that I think the library has been underserviced in terms of repairs and everything else for many, many years. Okay, we just haven't had the money to do it. So if you feel we want to do that and put it on the table, then let's do it.
Well, we're not gonna make the final decision. It must be the select board that's gonna make that.
I know, but they're gonna, we have to also make sure we recommend the stuff right.
Right.
So,
And a lot of these items we're going through probably won't be ARPA. They'll just fall where they may on free cash next fall.
maybe. All right, so how do you want to, what's in your list, Joe? We can start rating here.
Well, I guess if we're gonna put that into our conversation around ARPA funding, we haven't rated any of the items we've put into that bucket. So I guess my suggestion would be is we treat these the same.
Okay.
And we don't
You mean
rate
like the
them.
community center stuff?
Well, like the parking lot, we didn't rate that. Yeah, the town hall compliant designs, we didn't rate that. The COA, the Council on Aging
It's
Community.
a unique analysis.
Yeah.
Anything that's gonna go under our pursuit, it's a completely separate approach.
Yeah, so
Right.
we've held off on doing any ratings on them because they're a little standalone, but, and really, they were submitted to us by Ron as part of the bond package thought. They weren't submitted to us by the COA,
But,
Right.
by the library, by, you know.
but they are significant items
They
in
are.
the facilities
Oh,
report.
yeah, absolutely agree.
And one thing that I agree with, that Ron was really pushing, was facility maintenance has to be done. You know, I agree with that, and,
And that's why
I think-
these should be part of that conversation.
yeah, and we ought to see ARPA funds for the windfall they could be, that would take a lot of this projects away from the tax rate over the next few years.
So,
So do you want to rate the library a piece by piece?
I don't know if we have to really rate them. Could we put together a list of possible candidates to be used under ARPA funding?
I think that's that's where my mind was, Mike, and list out the parking lots, list out the library stuff, the Council on Aging Center, the community center stuff, the town hall
And-
stuff.
And we say that these are priority work that needs to be done for structural repairs to our facilities. And all of these have some justification. You know, whether that 1.9 is gonna, how much that's gonna fund out of what we see flowing around here, who's to say? But maybe they'll could take a bite out of some of the things, take a bite out of some of the parking lots, some of the facility work. And who knows what else that safety may have that they want to use ARPA funding for. You know, fire and police, there may be items that we're not aware of that is on their back burner.
And then,
You know?
I think our report should also include a blurb about, once it's decided how the ARPA funds are gonna be allocated, and we know what's not gonna get funded through ARPA, that's when we wanna start having the discussion about putting together a bond package, knowing that we've got other debt falling off the rolls, and we want to align with that as best we can with the bond package.
The redoing the town hall and the public safety building and everything, those are bond package items that, you know, even the ARPA fund isn't gonna pay for those. If they throw all the funds at it, you know?
So having said that, do we want to jump down to the breathing air compressor as far as the rating goes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's a rateable item.
definitely.
Okay. Well, like I said, I had a discussion with Seth about it, and at some point, if that thing fails, He's gonna either have to go to another town, get his tanks filled, or just buy extra tanks or something, because he said he can't get parts, I'm taking his word for it, he can't get parts anymore for that. And it's at its end of its useful life.
Has this been since he came in and gave a presentation to us? You talked with him again?
Oh, he gave us this thing about 2 or 3 years ago.
Right,
knowing
and I
we were
thought it
coming
was a
to the
priority
end.
then.
It was.
Yeah, so I think that should be
Resubmitted.
definitely a priority. He's resubmitted that.
You know,
So does that rise to the level of mandatory, or can we go and?
It's probably not mandatory, but I think I'd put it at a 9.
I'd put it at 9, yeah.
all right. Okay, 9.
I think it's, priority ranking would probably be very
10.
high.
Yeah,
9 or 10, huh? What do you want to call it?
Probably 10.
I'd go 10 on that.
Yeah.
When we start talking about life,
Yeah, safety.
kinda hurt.
It kinda rises to the level.
I was looking for the,
The
so
other thing,
the current year breathing air compressor, the current unit is a 1999.
So 10.
So it's a 10 on the life expectancy.
Yeah.
the other thing too is this new air compressor, if you read the numbers, he can only charge the 4,500. So
Right.
some of the new breathing compressors, tanks that are coming out, can be charged higher than that.
Right.
And this one allows them, I think, to go up to 6,500 PSI.
So that,
So that's the whole another system about it.
but still, I mean, the cost would be unchanged, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
revenue is unchanged.
And
Revenue
revenue
is
is unchanged.
I get a 40.
That still comes up pretty high.
Yeah.
It's the highest.
I mean, that's,
But
people's
again, we
lives
think,
are on the
yeah,
line
it's
when they use
appropriate.
it.
I think so.
Right, right.
And that,
Because they're 40?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the only item left is the public safety water infiltration repairs.
and that needs the study too.
Yeah, so the study is wrapped up into that number, that $235,000 number.
And the study was like 30 or something.
22 grand of it was the study,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that, do we want to recommend the study? I mean, that's, before you can spend the 200 plus, you have to have the engineering work done and pin it down. Or do we want to just take the whole thing and put it in with some of the other items that we're going to say priority items from the facilities report? I mean, that clearly is one.
Or rank, yeah, this one's tough. This one bothers me because it's kind of like going back to the conversation about the wood house, right?
Yeah.
Because every day that goes by and that's not being addressed, it's just causing more damage. You know, unlike replacing the siding or windows or something, which, you know, it's not destroying the building.
Right,
This
right.
this is, you're actually continue to destroy things until it's addressed. I almost think we should rate it.
I do too, and it's actually in the police department too. It's not just in the fire department.
Yeah, it's that
all
whole
over.
dispatch.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I think we should rate that.
It's not,
So if anything should be used for ARPA funds, this is definitely a use for it. My opinion.
do we want to rate items that we should recommend? Just take the items and say there's 10 of those items in blue and rate them 1 to 10, what we see, or put a rating on them, or just say these are the items to be considered for ARPA funds that we think are priorities, and just give them 10 items, or whatever the total number is.
Yeah, maybe that's what we do.
11.
List out the items that we feel may qualify for ARPA, and once that discussion is held and that decision is made, then we come back and reconsider them outside of ARPA for a
So-
bond package down the road.
Well,
So
if
this
they don't
is
get
all-
in, if they don't get funded through ARPA.
Exactly.
We'll look at
Right.
other ways.
So this is all ARPA so far that we've done?
No,
Oh,
only the blue, the ones we've skipped have been all ARPA,
The blue ones.
the blue
Yeah.
ones.
Okay.
Everything we put a rating on, is falling outside of ARPA,
Okay.
is the way we're looking at it. We're thinking
Yeah.
those are free cash type items.
Right. And if they want to change that, if the select board wants to change that and look at it some other way and use ARPA funds, that's their decision.
Well, if we log them all together, how will they know what the priorities we've assigned to these items are?
They won't. But they have a whole committee doing that.
We haven't really rated them, the ones in the blue yet.
We can. We can
No,
put a
no,
rating
no,
on
I'm
them.
talking about if it's a priority on the, where is it here? The breathing apparatus, if that's a 40, and that's not part of the ARPA fund recommendation, then how are they gonna know that's a priority that they should be allocating
Well,
ARPA funds to?
These are gonna be all the items that should be considered when free cash becomes available.
Oh, I wouldn't wait for free cash for the breathing apparatus.
Well, you have to.
Why?
There's no other, where else are you gonna get it?
ARPA.
I mean, every recommendation we always make is predicated on the funding. It's,
Yeah.
Right.
And there's these big ticket structural items that conceivably could have that one-shot deal with ARPA money.
Well,
But I would say that breathing package, there's gonna be some free cash.
I mean-
And there may be a little left now,
the other thing is,
but that's the highest priority.
if we pull back and look at what our job is here, our job is to provide a recommendation. And yeah, maybe some guidance on the funding of how we go about funding those recommendations, but that's not our decision. That piece of it falls outside of our scope. That's FinCom and Board of Selectmen. They decide the funding mechanisms while we can recommend it.
Right.
Once we make a recommendation of an item, the funding piece is the next step outside of us.
We're gonna have,
I guess I just have a little hard time with trying to reason through how a library replaced rotted siding and trim is more important than a breathing air compressor.
you're mixing different items here.
No, we're keeping them separate, but you're not,
We've got,
you were saying we want to apply these to ARPA, but we're not including the breathing
Well,
compressor in
let's
that.
do this. Let's rate them.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's rate them. Let's go through and rate everything.
we can go through and rate them. We've got 11 items here that we've rated. And that breathing unit is the #1 rated thing in terms of priority based on this. And we'll submit those 11 items, and you know some of them will get done. Will they all get done? Who knows? Some of the bottom ones may not.
Well, we probably won't submit all of them, because normally
Right.
what we do is we take like the top 5 or 6 or whatever.
Well,
Right.
somebody would give us a heads up to how much free cash we're gonna have.
Yeah.
And we'd plug in the ones that fit and that are rated the highest.
Okay.
So we're not, the ARPA funds, if we rate the ARPA funds, the things for ARPA funding, that's like a different ball of wax. It would come out of different money, it's not coming out of free cash. If they choose not to do it that way, then we're back to free cash or a bond.
Okay, I guess, I don't want to belabor the issue, but I guess I don't understand, Mike, where the library stuff, and I'm only using that, I'm not picking on the library, I'm just using that as an example. It could be the fields.
Right.
Why we're allocating ARPA money to that stuff and yet carving the
We're not
breathing
allocating,
apparatus. Yes, we are, because we're lumping everything together from what I heard, and we're saying, we're gonna throw all this stuff out to the committee, and they can say, here's what we see for ARPA funds, and you guys decide, but in the meantime, that doesn't get included. We're pushing that off down the road to if we have free cash.
we're assuming we're going to. If I'm not mistaken, there was some free cash left this year. We're not quite sure where it was going though.
But this is a perfect item for ARPA funds, is my point.
It could be.
And so if we're gonna include all this blue stuff, then I think we should include the air compressor. I mean, this is a safety issue for these
We can-
guys, as far as I'm concerned.
We can recommend that this get done as a priority, whether it's free cash, it's our highest rated for free cash or for ARPA.
And we could say,
nobody's gonna argue
the
with
same
that.
things of the library. This could be high rated for ARPA or free cash. So if we're gonna pigeonhole one, we gotta wrap them all together.
I think the difference, and I get what's being said, but I think the difference is these items in blue that we've skipped over were not formally submitted by the departments as part of the CIPC
They're
process.
in the study as
Right.
priorities.
They were given to us, they were really kind of the study was given to us, but then from the study, Ron carved out the items in blue with the idea that it would be a bond package funded. And then we turned around and said, oh, we're not so sure we're fond of that bond package because we don't know what we can use ARPA for and what we can't.
Right, that's the way I'm looking at it, is if you can get ARPA money for these, then great. But these things, for example, the compressor is it's the number one priority,
So-
as of right now. If you can get ARPA for it, great, if not, then you gotta.
Exactly.
This is what we think you should use your money for.
So I think we're in agreement with you, Harry, in the sense that the breathing air compressor, I think, should remain in our rating. It was clearly submitted to us by the department head as a priority. We ranked it as our number one priority.
2 years in a row.
And the way we should lay out our report is, these are all the items submitted to us, whether it's funded through ARPA or whether it's funded through free cash in the fall, great, that's out of our purview, but here's our recommended items. And then on top of that,
there's these
separately-
other items that were not
Exactly.
submitted.
I could go along with that 100%.
That's,
Jeff.
I think that's what we're saying.
As long as they see the basic ratings we did to begin with, and it doesn't get
That's gonna be
lost
front and
somewhere.
center.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that I can live with, that I can go along with, guys.
And do we have to rate the other items, or
It's the
think so.
same issue, though, if they're not submitted.
they weren't submitted?
Yeah.
But going through the facilities report, we all consider them very important.
I think, and maybe we leave it at that.
Yeah,
We say, and here's why, these were carved out because they are the exterior, you start on the outside and work your way in as far as facility maintenance, right? You button up the outside, make sure you're not gonna destroy anything on the inside because of the outside. You get that cleared up first, and that's why these items are listed here, but not necessarily rated through our normal process.
I would say some of those are more important than the paving even.
Yeah, I would too, like the public
The
safety.
water infiltration
Yeah.
and stuff.
right.
But, with the conversation would also, and it's all about the wording of how we present the report, which I think we can do.
We've never had a conundrum like this in all my years on this.
This is more complex.
Let me tell you,
It could be a bonus, the ARPA funding could be a bonus,
You
and
know,
I mean,
but
it
it
could help
changes-
clean up things that need to be done and we just can't fund.
right, but it
Otherwise.
changes the whole dynamic of how we look at the ratings on systems and how
Yeah,
we do
well-
stuff.
Well,
which
yeah,
is
I think we stick to the things that were actually requests submitted to us for the ratings.
Which is where, and
Yeah,
we've gone
we've done
through the
that.
whole list.
Right,
We've
yeah,
done
right.
that.
Okay.
And then, okay, what should we do to wrap this up?
Well, how about if we make a recommendation on the, make a recommendation on the items that we rated first?
So do we want to get a number? Maybe what we should do is try to tally the top rated items from a dollar perspective.
Yeah,
9, 10, we rated 10 items. We tabled the fields because they were never resubmitted, or the pool pumps. So we got ratings on 10 items.
Right, and of those 10, the one ranked at 40 is the top.
One at 37, 2 at 36, you know.
I'm gonna try to get the total for the top ones.
235 for the breathing apparatus.
63 or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm looking at the water filtration system.
65,
Yep,
breathing compressed
65.
65.
Yep. Okay. The electrical, you had that show, that was, where are we here?
So going down to 33,
Yep,
33 point, ranking 33 as the lowest. So we captured the 40,
Well, we had some lower than that.
no, but I only went to the 33
Oh.
to get a total.
Because we have
Okay.
36, a 37, 36.
That gets us to about 315 grand
Okay.
for the items ranked between 40 and 33.
Okay. How
So
many
we'll have to
items
see
did
where
you
we
add
are
in
then.
there?
That-
Roughly half of them, or?
That is 1, 2, 3,
Five
4,
items.
5 items. That's
You
half of
you
the
rated it, that's half the items, the top
half.
half. That's,
That's the electrical, the dump, the server van, the wood studio structural, the wood house roof, and the breathing apparatus.
right, okay. And those are priorities. Maybe we should include the whole list, but say these are our top, these 5 are our top recommendations based on rating.
Oh, I see, yes, yeah, so,
Because if ARPA money comes into play, who knows what they'll find? So they should have the whole list.
Well, what we do normally is we list these on our report, and then we say, these items were rated but not recommended at this time. And then they
Well,
see what it is.
Right.
We can submit.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
do not have a better sense of what we're looking at.
What's
for
that?
funding, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd submit them all and say that we recommend you go as far as you can down the list. Because you don't know what kind of money is going to be available. If they're using ARPA, they may be able to do everything that's recommended.
We could bifurcate it and put forward the top 5, like Joe just said, say these fall into our initial recommendations, and then secondarily, these other items were rated, but not as highly.
Yeah, I mean, historically, it seems since I've been working with you, we're usually getting, except for a couple of years ago when we got nothing, we're going in a couple of $100,000, $200,000-300,000 a year is what we're hoping to get usually.
Oh, you know what, I missed one. The Woods house roof is 33 also.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that should be added, because it's the same.
And also, don't forget, we still have the availability of the capital fund, which we haven't used.
Yeah.
And we keep funding every year. If they have the money, it's funded. So that's another thing. If push comes to shove and there's something absolutely to be done, we could use some of that money for what we think is a priority.
I'm gonna juggle my minutes around when I submit this, and I'm gonna list these all in order of their rating,
Okay.
all right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily the order that we did them in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ranking.
Yeah, I'll put them by ranking in the minutes.
I'll send you all the file.
Yeah, I assume you're just gonna plug numbers into that sheet.
They're here.
Yeah.
I've been doing it as we go, so.
All right,
So, do we have a recommendation for the items that we recommended? Can we take it as a lump sum? We recommend that, at a rating for recommendations 2 with supplemental ratings of so-and-so in the event.
are you looking like for a motion or something?
Yeah.
So
We have to make a motion on the recommendations. We have to.
do you want to do this? And I think we're going to meet one more time anyhow, but I'll volunteer to write up a report, our recommendation report. And the areas that we'll try to cover is the rated items that were submitted formally through the process, the top 6 that 33 and above rated items as our recommended items, but list all the other ones and their other rankings should funds like ARPA or whatever become available
Sure.
for consideration. And then secondly on the report, list out the facility type items that may qualify for ARPA funding for consideration.
Yep.
And then also state in there that when ARPA is all wrapped up and that whole process takes its course, that we want to pull together a facility needs for a possible bond package to align with when existing debt falls off the rolls. Kind of
Sounds good to
those
me.
be the main points in
That
the
sounds great.
recommendation, and then
That sounds great.
I can bring that back next time. That's when we can make our
So
vote.
Okay.
That'll be our
When do
recommendation.
we wanna meet then?
Because these things aren't going to go on the warrant, I don't think, for May. So I
No.
don't think we have enough time to get them on the warrant.
No, I don't think they will. I'm not sure when that's, no, I don't know.
I don't
No one's
know-
reached out and told us the timeline
No.
of that process, so
Right.
I don't.
Right, and I'm not sure what kind of push there is to spend ARPA money. I'd like to get this to the select board sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I
To
would too.
make sure that all of this stuff is on their radar for use
Right.
for those funds if possible.
And if ARPA can't make a decision of what they're gonna spend the money on, but that has to get approved by the town, even, I believe it has to get approved by the town.
Right.
Once the ARPA committee makes recommendations to the select board.
Is
They
there
can
an ARPA
spend,
committee?
they can recommend to spend the money in either way they
I-
want, but it has to be approved by the town.
Who's the ARPA committee?
There's
I
5
don't
or
think
6
there is
people
one.
on it, I think,
Is there?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's on it. I heard there is such a committee, but I don't know who's on it or what they
Well,
do.
I don't either.
then our recommendations should go to them also. What Ron said, I think is true. I think the rules as to what you can spend ARPA funding on
Yeah.
are not gonna be as strict as they originally thought.
So we're gonna hold our vote, motions and vote on these items until next time we get together, Joe?
Yeah, I think that way we
Okay.
have something concrete to vote
All
on
right.
in the form of our document.
And who we
Okay.
submitted to, and maybe we could find out who is on the ARPA committee and see that they get what we feel about some of these items too. What do we got for free dates?
Well, that's what I'm looking at here.
21st, 28th?
I'm out, I'm away all next week.
I'm away next week too.
Me too.
How about the 28th?
Hold on, let me just pull my calendar. '28th, I'll be back. I believe that looks good, okay for me.
It's okay for me.
Last of the month,
Hang on, I gotta look. I'm just sending you guys this
okay.
document before I forget.
You've made the updates on it while you were going through? Okay, good. I could do the 28th or May 5th. Next week, no. So it doesn't matter, you can't.
Yeah, I can.
I'm good with the 28th.
2 weeks out, that's good timing, as far as I'm concerned.
And I'll take it to see if we can get the room and whatever we can do, Joe.
Oh, okay.
Next booking. Okay, if you're gonna be writing all that stuff, I'll take care of that, that's for sure.
Calendar. I forgot my phone, so I gotta dig up my calendar on the.
6:30.
– 28th, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yep,
If we can get this room again, this would be good.
I cannot do the 28th.
You can't?
no.
No, I committed to my wife. She's got a bunch of.
How
Girl
about May
Scouts.
5th?
I can do the 27th.
Wednesday?
Wednesdays aren't good.
They-
I could do 26th also.
I'm just coming back from Pennsylvania, 25th, so I don't know, I might be able to make that. I know I rushed the last time to make it, Joe, no, thank goodness.
26 would be tough because I get back that day.
Yeah,
Okay.
so 27th could work for me.
Yeah, another Wednesday night
That's a
meeting?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right,
Dan?
I might be tired, but I could do it.
27th.
27th?
27th,
I mean, I'm just thinking so we don't have to push it out another week if
Yeah.
if doable. Because
right. Okay. Let me just- Oh, it's turkey season. Okay, let me just, April 27th. Let me just put that in here.
It's 30 to 8.
20.
All right. 27th.
and let me know if you got that file.
Yeah, I saw it come through
Okay.
while I was typing away here. All right. Inbox. Yeah, Joe Becker.
Okay.
Okay, done. All right.
Is the file attached?
Hopefully. You better check. I am getting tired, so it's possible it's not.
Updated tracking file with ratings. All right, guys, I'm attaching Joe. I'm not seeing the file.
Did I not send the file?
Do you see it?
Yeah.
You got it, Dan?
Yeah, you gotta go all the way down to the bottom.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I see it right
Okay.
there, Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, but is it wow, all the way down through all of these?
That's the way Google Gmail works. The attachments are at the very end.
Yeah, scroll, scroll, scroll.
Yep,
Yeah,
okay.
We
got your
converted to
rating-
Gmail at work, and I'm
You got
having
the
an awful
rating
time
scores
getting
in
used to
here?
it.
All right. So our next meeting date at 4/27/22, 6:30. Any old business? New business? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved at 8:15.
8:15.